right, everybody, welcome to Drinkin Mo's. Got Big Mo here. Be sure if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff, because I got some stuff I'm working on. May is a big month. I got with me here my good buddy, Branden Juarez. How you doing?
Not too bad, much so.
I can't complain. Like I said, we talked a little bit before. We got some pretty big stuff going on.
We do. I'm looking forward to it for you.
Yeah. All right. So one thing I like to kind of start off with is what got you started as a fan, and then like your start getting into the wrestling business.
The thing that got me started as a fan was my grandparents. My grandfather would watch wrestling with me, and my grandmother bought me my first WWF magazine back in January 1990, and I've been a fan ever since. I know I'm dating myself.
I mean, that's pretty close to the time I got started, maybe a couple of years before that, actually. I can think one of my now late uncle got me started, and I'd see the guys coming out like Hogan, Warrior, the Road Warriors were one of my absolute favorites. Just the sight of them and those spiked shoulder pads, and when that music hit.
So starting out, I wasn't really a big WCW, NWA fan, but as time went on, I got to know the Road Warriors, and then obviously the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. Prior to that, one of my favorite tag teams was actually Demolition.
Nothing wrong with that. They were a hell of a team.
They were very much Smash Mouth like the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Just not as big.
Yeah. Yeah. No. My only regret is I never got to meet either one of them. I always wanted to, but never was able to get around.
You never know how much time people have around here. So it's always good to just be nice, be kind, and hey, I'm gonna go over and ask for this, quick conversation. Hey,
yeah,
I'm so and so. I'm sure you probably won't remember this in 2 minutes, but
yeah,
I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life.
And kind of like what we talked about a little bit before we got started here about some of the names that I've already been talking to. You never know unless you ask, and it's just like, hey, here, let's see if it sticks.
Yeah.
How about your start, like, actually in wrestling? Because we're here at PWP WrestleRama tonight.
So I got my start early 2000 at the Omaha Wrestling Association. Maury Swanger, Jaden Drago, Austin Storm, they were all integral in me getting my foot in the door here in the area. They were my first experience with professional wrestling here in this area in the Midwest. From there, I had to step away for a little bit due to financial reasons. I'm obviously not going to try and take advantage of them for showing me how to do this.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I'll pay you later.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair.
Yeah.
But then I came back around, hooked up with a couple of guys who started a company that used to be in the OWA. Shane Lies, Marty Trotter, Sean Pendragon, Ricky Reynolds, Ricky Del Monte, and Preston Maxwell.
Guy that is going to be in this year's class of the Nebraska Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Indeed.
And I actually was just interviewing Donnie Dodge, one of the directors, and as of right now, I'm going to be able to be there the night that they do the induction ceremony and doing little short things with each of them. However, after they get inducted, however, they're going to work that in.
Right, that'll be real cool. I think it'll be a great experience for you.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. One of the things getting started off in your another name that you've been synonymous with, Donnie Pepper Cricket. I know I've heard you tell the stories of the origins of that name, but for the people that'll watch through this that maybe haven't heard those interviews before.
Fair enough. So when I got back into training, they wanted me, it's like, you need this like white-sounding name. So then when this big Mexican, yes, I'm Mexican, comes walking through the curtain, everyone's kind of like, huh? So we came up with Donnie, and we were actually traveling to, I believe, Leavenworth, Kansas.
Okay.
And we were on Highway 75, and there used to be this place there, like off the highway, called Pepper Cricket Farms. And they were like, Donnie Pepper Cricket, that's going to be your name. Silly me, that'll never work. It won't last.
And I mean, here
22 years later.
2 years later, yeah.
Again, dating myself. I know I'm old.
I mean, hell, I turned 39 in July, so I ain't no youngin' myself.
I'm not going to disclose how old I'll turn in July, but it's going to be old. It's one of those birthdays where they try to throw surprise parties.
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
That old.
No, hell, I'm getting towards one of those myself. Not looking forward to it. But, speaking of, like, we were talking about the origins of Donnie Peppercorn and kind of that little bit of traveling down the road, one thing that I've brought up with a few people, I like to liken wrestlers' road stories to me with the military and deployment stories. Was wondering, you got any road stories you wouldn't mind sharing?
How much time we got?
Well, we got until whenever they open the doors.
Fair enough. So one of the road stories that I have, actually, we were on our way to Amarillo, Texas. I had basically been working all day at my, 9-to-5 job. From there, I went home, showered, changed, drove to Junction City, Kansas to pick up Eric Fantabulous. And from there, he took over driving, and I had a buddy that we were training with along with us.
Yeah.
Obviously, working all day, driving through the night. I was a little tired, so my buddy opted to hop in the front seat and keep Eric awake while he drove, or vice versa, And I obviously pass out, and it's raining. It's pouring out. They pull off to the side of the road to kind of figure something out. I don't remember exactly what they were trying to figure out, but they're sitting there thinking to themselves. And Eric Fantabulous told me the story after the fact, and you'll understand why I say that. He goes, when I slam on the dash, hit the gas. And my buddy's like, okay. Drive, Jesus Christ, I can't believe you just hit that guy. What the hell are you thinking? Oh my God, I don't know, he came out of nowhere. I don't know where he came from. It's raining, I can't see anything. They look in the back. Dead.
Oh my God, that's funny.
They're like, man, we wasted a perfectly good rib on you. I'm like, I'm sorry, man, I was exhausted.
Oh, The funny thing for me with ribs is when in the Navy, I was the one nobody expected to be the one pulling them off. Like, and I figured, it's about time that this one came out, because it's been since like 2009, and to this day, nobody knows it was me that did it.
Wow.
But every uniform in the military has a head cover, and the one for the day was this adjustable ball cap. We were in a break in school and nobody was paying attention. I was just walking around, switching everybody's sizes to where it obviously wasn't theirs. Like too big, too small, whatever.
Right.
Everybody goes to leave for the day and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm struggling to hold in the laughter, because I'm just like, and nobody's thought to even ask. And well, whenever this comes out, people will finally know. Yeah,
It was him.
I did it. But yeah. Oh God. Another one that I like to tell is when we were in Singapore and got overnight Liberty and got this hotel, and we got this private bar for anybody that got the package.
Right.
Everybody else there was like one drink at a time. Me and my buddies that got the room, we were all like 2 or 3 at a time and going up there like 6, 7 times. By the time we got done, we were so fucking hammered. We ended up, I guess, getting called back early to the ship because of something going on. I ended up being in the bed by the telephone, and I got told this after the fact that they called and they're like, yeah, we need you back here by midnight. And apparently I answered like, midnight? It's already midnight. I can't be in 2 places at once. The guy hung up on me.
Going up the next one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I was pretty slaughtered that next, that next day or so.
So to kind of segue from that story to another one involving alcohol. So through life, went through a bad little breakup. Depression wasn't a son of a gun.
You've been there for me through one of mine.
And needless to say, one night I took to the bottle a little too heavy. And because of that, I have a disdain for Njpw. When you drink a bottle like that big,
and you drank the
to
whole
yourself,
thing.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, that being said, fast forward to probably about a year later, again in Texas. I was with Preston Maxwell this time. We're at the venue, and I'm resting. He decides to take it upon himself to make a funnel and start pouring Jim Beam in my mouth.
Oh, God.
Needless to say, Preston Maxwell almost walked home after that trip. But I love the guy, and he's always been there for me, so I just yelled at him and got super pissed. And then when I told him why I was pissed, he's like, my bad. I didn't know.
I mean, I've had some blackout moments myself, including coming back from the youngest of my sister's weddings. Last thing I remember was getting ready to leave, and somebody asked me, "You good to drive over to your parents?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I wake up fully changed in my parents' basement, having no idea how the hell I got there. I'm like, "Where the fuck is my car?" I run up the stairs, look outside, and it's right there at the curb. I'm like, "Okay, I'm good." I went back down on the couch and fell asleep. There were people in the wedding party that were literally getting found laying on the curb like a couple blocks away.
I mean, I've met your family. They like to party, so I get it.
And then you put my family with my wife's family, and you get our wedding.
We don't speak of that night too often. At least we speak of the night fondly, but we don't speak of the details.
Yeah. All right. Back to some wrestling stuff. Some of your favorite matches as like a fan and just watching and sitting back and enjoying it, and then maybe some of yours that you've been in.
Honestly, recently, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold at WrestleMania, and Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. Both those guys took what they had with the people that they had. Not saying that Stone Cold doesn't know what he's doing, but he's been out of the game for quite some time, and he worked so well around him to make sure that he looked as good as Stone Cold was making him look.
Yeah,
and that was great. And Sami Zayn with Johnny Knoxville, all I gotta say is the Wee Man body slam, and everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Because he went out of his way to make sure all those guys, even after he like beat them down or whatever, they still look strong and they still look viable.
Oh yeah. Nope, he definitely did a good job of making what could have been a complete dumpster fire into something amazing.
Very true.
One of my other favorites from that very weekend FTR versus the Briscoes at that Supercard of Honor.
I heard good things about it. I didn't catch it, but I heard good things about that one.
I ordered that show on Fight, and that was worth the price of the whole show in and of itself. I mean, then you also had, Gresham versus Bandito. I mean, the whole show was amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I heard nothing but good things about that show. As far as some of my favorite matches, there's not a lot I haven't done. I've done no rope barbed wire. I've done street fights. I've done a casket match with a legit casket, not just a box,
a little box. Yeah.
Cage matches.
I'm jealous and envious that I didn't get to be there the night that you had that cage match at Magnum, because I've yet to see a cage match live. I just want to so bad.
It was a good one. It was fun. One of my favorite matches that I'm probably most proud of, especially being a bigger guy, because most people are sitting here thinking, this guy can't go that long.
The typical thing people say about big guys,
was the 30-minute Iron Man match I did with Jason Strife at Magnum.
That was a good one.
And I think we told a good story. He basically, the whole thing is he didn't take me as a serious threat until I became a serious threat. And the fact that I was still getting up, not staying down. And this wasn't like a worked 30 minutes. There was a clock on the screen that everybody could see, and it was counting down from the minute the bell rang till the minute it ended.
Yeah. That was a good match for sure.
And then other than that, I've had a bunch of other matches that I'm just proud of just because of who I was in there with.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to wrestle the Warlord and Barbarian.
I remember hearing about that.
Freaking Beer City Bruiser, who I know recently was a guest of yours.
Yep.
Him and I had a blast. This
very well of your guys' matches.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, find things out about people after the fact, but there's a pretty fun match I had, and now this is wrestling, but nobody's going to see it because that guy got canceled.
Oh, yeah. That unfortunate event.
I did take a dick flip, if that tells anybody anything. But you live and learn, and unfortunately, he made the decisions. I'm not even going to get into it, but decisions were made between people, good, bad, or indifferent. That's on them. Fortunately, for all parties involved, nobody came out a winner.
Yeah. The other unfortunate thing with now is how they're not running anymore. They had a pretty great idea there, and it's just kind of fell apart.
I feel like the concept was there. I feel like the production was definitely there.
Oh yeah.
But you got multiple people trying to get on the same page. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
But I mean, we can't put it all on that. I mean,
yeah,
pandemic happened, so everything kind of shut down. And some people, when they spend so much time away from something, they're like, you know what? I don't like that anymore. It's not for me anymore.
Yeah, well, it's
kudos to them. They tried. They gave it their all.
And those couple of shows that they had were pretty damn good.
Good. All the shows they had were, they were solid shows, top to bottom. I think under different circumstances, they probably could have made a run for something around the area.
Yeah.
However, we'll never know.
Yeah. That is true. One other thing before we get to some PWP events, since we're here at PWP WrestleRama, you recently had a big to-do over there in Rugged Pro. Why don't you tell us about that?
So it's myself and Photos by Manning, Chris Manning, had been talking about wanting to beat the bejesus out of each other for a long time. Rugged Pro was a place to give us that platform, and I think we did a good job. We gave people a reason to care about it by involving his oldest son, by making it seem real, by bringing that realism to it.
Yeah.
Chris Manning still throws a shitty stomp, but and he'll even admit that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that a photographer and a fat old guy got a holy shit chant outside of a church, pissing off the promoter, might I add you, because we have no control over the fans and what they say.
Yeah.
But
that is true.
because of that, he got a little upset with us. But we got the reaction we wanted. That story and chapter's done. Add Rugged Pro, and now Donnie Peppercregan is going to be making his appearance there.
All right. Yeah, I've talked with people that have done some things over there at Rugged Pro. Jameson McGregor winning that ladder match.
Yeah.
That I've heard that was barn burner, to say the least.
It was crazier than it needed to be.
Yeah. From the little bits of footage that I've seen, I can definitely agree. And then guy that's caused a little bit of controversy over there, Lars McGregor.
Yep, they got him. They're he's starting to get billed as a bit of a monster in the area.
That he is.
And you know what? If he keeps doing what he's doing in Rugged Pro and he continues that in other places, I think he will be something to keep an eye on in the area.
Oh, I definitely agree, and he is definitely just from a look and a build alone, the whole building him up to be a monster. He looks like he'd be believable as the fucking monster.
Right. I mean, the guy's solid, like as far as his frame and everything goes. He's still pretty young in the business, so
yeah,
he just needs to get more reps under his belt, and I think he'll be good.
And that's one of the things he actually thanked me for with the show, was giving him one more avenue for that little bit of a practice as far as the talking aspects,
the mic skills.
The mic skills, yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna switch this around. Before the PWP stuff, current state of wrestling, I have here on my notes. I've had people describe it as it might not be as popular as it was like Attitude Era, because that was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was up there.
It was 2 decades ago, basically.
Yeah. And
more than 2 decades now,
but then people have said with the sheer amount of choices and the streaming services and everything, it's probably about as healthy as it's ever been.
Oh, absolutely. I would say professional wrestling is very much more in the mainstream eye than it once was.
Yeah.
Where it's more common to find a wrestling fan than it being a dirty little secret back in, the middle school, high school days.
Yeah.
There's more options. There's more variety, and I think the biggest thing that people need to take away from that is the fact that there are options and variety. If you don't like what you're watching, turn the channel.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay there and watch it. You don't have to sit there and bitch that, oh, X company's doing this with this guy, they should have done this.
Yeah.
You know what? It's very easy to be armchair promoter.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of these people understand how much money, time, and energy it goes into doing shows. I'm not even a promoter, but I've been around the business long enough to know that I don't want to run a show because I know the headache that comes with it.
Yeah.
You get to reap the rewards when it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
And those first couple of shows, it could be bad. Venue, location, all that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. And you got to make sure that you're, not running against something else, running against that. It's not a holiday weekend, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
There's so many factors into running a show.
Yeah. And the thing, you can pretty much find it every day of the week. Like, you got
it's like
WWE on Peacock, you got Impact Plus, you got New Japan stuff, you got Noah, you got IWTV.
It's like the heydays of Memphis when there was wrestling pretty much Tuesday to Sunday.
Yep, it's pretty much that. So if you can't find something that you like, you're probably not a fan to begin with.
It's true.
Because, and the people also need to realize that if you just sit back and watch the show, you're gonna have way more fun.
Oh yeah. It's like, sometimes it's hard for me watching some things because I'll be like, oh man, that didn't look good. They messed that up. And of course, it goes back to the armchair promoter comment because you know what? They're on TV making millions, and I'm here making what I make.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like you are going to be needed in the back here shortly, so we'll speed it up here. You're in a thing with Pat Powers tonight. You're going to be involved in a little
war room discussion.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I can run my mouth. I don't like to run my mouth. Especially as Branden Juarez, I'm more of the character that, in that aspect, that is more the smash mouth. Let's throw hands, and let's get nuts, so to speak. Njpw Cricket never has a problem talking, but obviously Njpw Cricket is here tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, so,
that should be interesting. I'm kind of intrigued to see what he has to say.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm definitely interested to see how that all turns out. All right, so last little bit, I like to do a little bit of a speed round. I'll shorten it up because, like we said,
you can, whatever you gotta do.
All right,
I guess what are the parameters?
I name maybe a promotion, some people. You give me your thoughts. We'll start off with, obviously we're here for this promotion tonight, PWP.
It sounds funny coming from the old guy, but it's good for young talent.
But it is. Yeah. The more promotions out there, the more people are going to be able to learn. And, PWP is bringing in some good young talent that, they're only going to get better the more times they get in there.
It's true.
One more promotion.
Except me, man. I just get words every time.
That
he said it, not me.
Yeah, we'll get in there. All right. Team you're involved with here, the Messengers.
3 bad dudes with attitudes.
3 guys when you're in there like that I definitely don't want to fuck with. Don't want to fuck with that. All right. Guy, you've mentioned you've been in like barbed wire matches and all, like a whole slew of different types of matches. A guy that is synonymous with death matches, Gage.
The new Njpw. He is the legend of he's the new legend, the new living legend, in my opinion, of the deathmatch wrestler from Cactus Jack's days in Japan. Then he transferred over here and doing the hardcore stuff here. Yeah. Gage took what they did in Japan, brought it to the States, and is synonymous with that now. Definitely. So I would definitely say he's the new living legend of deathmatch wrestling.
Hell, he's got his own deathmatch tournament named after.
It's true.
There's a reason they call him the god of that shit. All right, so kind of round it off. Where can people find you? So social media, people can look and maybe see a match or two.
On Instagram and Facebook, I am at PopIcon82. Twitter, I am at D_Pepper Cricket. Capital D_capital P. on Twitter. I had to think what it was on, or Musketeer, or whatever Elon Musk is going to name it after this.
Yeah.
Then I also have a pro wrestling tee store if you're looking to buy any merch or anything like that. Just look up Njpw Cricket. Yeah.
And well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me
Not a
before
problem,
your
brother.
show. One thing I do want to kind of mention, a guy you might know some about, he was with the Lucha Underground and all over West Coast, Lil Cholo.
Yeah.
Recently lost his father.
I did not know that.
And there's a GoFundMe out there that I'll share in the description of both the podcast and YouTube versions of this. But anybody out there, if you can give, please do. If not, share the link, get it out there. Good guy going through a very unfortunate thing.
Yeah, I mean, I got a family. I know times are tough. If you can't share or you can't contribute, at least share. That's the best thing that can help.
Yep. Every little bit helps. All right. So thank you very much. I'll try to get in there.